The owner of an extract manufacturing plant finds himself in a precarious situation when one of his employees gets into an accident. The circumstances intensify when he comes to know about his cheating wife. How will he deal with these personal and professional disasters? Guess you'll have to stick around to the end to see how the whole story unfolds. Hello and welcome to Comedy Recap. Today we will give you a recap of the film Extract. Spoilers ahead, obviously. Without further ado, let's dive right into it. The movie opens at a guitar store, where Cindy tells the salesman that she wants a guitar for her father. The salesman convinces her in buying one guitar that is the best for her father's taste. Cindy tells them that she likes the guitar, but can they bring one in another color? And as both salesmen go to the back of the store to get the guitar, she picks the one on the counter and runs away. The next scene opens inside a manufacturing plant named Reynolds Extract. There, Stepp, who is the line supervisor, is advising the new guy to speed up. Stepp says that he is taking far too long, and, in that much time, he was able to get done with 40 carats. He also says that he's going to be the new floor manager. Meanwhile, seeing the new guy working slowly, the other workers stop working and we can see chaos happening on the floor. On the other hand, Joel, who is the owner of the plant, can be seen talking on the phone to someone about how he doesn't get intimate with his wife Susie anymore. He says it is because his wife wears her sweatpants after 8 p.m. and he is always late. To beat the 8 p.m. deadline, he leaves his office early that day. However, as he enters the neighborhood, he gets interrupted by a neighbor who keeps discussing different plans with him. Joel keeps initiating that he has some work to do, but he follows him to the garage and eventually makes Joel miss the 8 p.m. mark. Joel goes to sit with his wife on the sofa and tries to talk romantic with her, but she hops onto the other seat and starts watching her Monday show. Joel then goes to a bar where he discusses his situation with the bartender named Dean, who also happens to be his friend. Dean suggests that he should get his Xanax, which he denies. The very next morning, we see Cindy putting a weeping act to sell the guitar. Meanwhile, Brian, an executive manager at Reynolds Extract, brings good news to Joel that General Mills has made an offer for buying their company, that too, above the market price. Joel gets excited listening to the news, but soon the excitement turns into sadness due to an incident in his factory, where Stepp gets hit directly between the legs by some flying tools. So he is transported to the hospital in an air ambulance.
I knew it. That's what happens when you don't pay attention.
Cindy sees the news of the incident and that Stepp will be paid over $1 million in insurance payments for the damages he incurred, but she doesn't know where to find him. So she joins Reynolds Extract as temporary staff. Brian introduces Cindy and another temporary staff to Joel, and Cindy immediately grabs Joel's attention with her bold attitude. She goes to Joel's office to discuss if he is the owner and asks him if he has built everything himself. However, all this is a disguise so she can find something with Stepp's information on it. She finds a card with the address of Stepp, then goes to the address and follows Stepp to a superstore. In the meantime, we see Joel going back home and Susie is once again sleeping in her sweatpants. Joel goes back to the bar and tells Dean that he thinks Cindy likes him, but he cannot cheat on his wife. Dean suggests that he should check Susie's loyalty by sending his friend over to his house in the disguise of a pool cleaner. If she cheats on him, then Joel can also cheat on her. And Dean once again offers him a pill, that Joel takes this time. On the other hand, we see Cindy and Stepp sitting in the trailer of Stepp's truck, where Cindy convinces him to sue Reynolds Extract. Joel gets high, and Dean convinces him to send a man to his house. As he's under the influence, he goes to meet Brad, to whom Dean briefs about the job. After Brad and Joel set up the deal, he goes out. Joel is skeptical of Brad, but Dean convinces him that he'll get the job done. The next morning, Joel goes to the office, and there he remembers his deal with Brad. He immediately calls Dean to stop Brad from going to his house, but it's too late now. In about a minute, Joel gets a call from Brad that Susie fell for him and that they made love to each other. Joel picks up his bag and runs home. There he eats food in frustration and goes to bed without talking to Susie. The next day, at the plant, we see the staff discussing the company's sell-off to General Mills, and then Brian goes to Joel's office to discuss that Stepp got a lawyer and Stepp is suing the company. Joel says that he will take care of that, and he leaves for home. As he enters the neighborhood, the same neighbor, named Nathan, stops at Midway and asks him about the new pool boy he saw today. Joel is surprised, and he goes back home in a hurry. There we see him standing in his bedroom and talking to Brad over the phone. Brad tells him about the affair with Joel's wife, for which he says he won't charge anything, but Joel says he will still pay him. After he's done with that, he comes out. Susie tries to talk to him, but he leaves saying that he has to attend the music show. Thereon, we see that he goes to Dean, who convinces Joel to smoke some pot. He takes him to a friend's room where Joel smokes and gets high. While he is high, Dean asks him to call Cindy and talk to her. He calls her, only to find out it's the pot guy's number, and there we see Cindy entering the room. The pot guy punches Joel in the face, and then Joel goes back to his home. Joel goes to the office with a bruised face the next day and leaves early so he can know if Brad still visits his wife. As he enters the community, he finds Brad going to his house again. Joel stops him and threatens him to leave and never come back. Next, Joel pays a visit to Step and says to him that he should drop the suit, otherwise it will bankrupt the company. Then we see that even though Joel threatened Brad, he visits his house again. This time, Susie tells him to not come again. Thereafter, we see that Step's lawyer reaches the factory and tells them about the amount for which they will settle. Joel gets frustrated and he is about to leave when the staff comes to him and says that they want a pie in the company before he can sell it. Agitated, Joel shouts at the staff and says that they can keep everything and leaves. He goes back to his home, where Susie comes and sits right in front of him to tell him about the things that happened in the last few days. However, Joel tells her that he knows everything and confesses that he had hired Brad to have an affair with her. That's because he wanted to have an affair with Cindy. This leads to a fight between the two, so Joel packs his bag and goes to a motel. There he sees Cindy and goes to her room. As he enters, he sees the bag she stole from one of the staff members. He confronts her and threatens her that if she will not convince Step to drop the suit, he will report her to the police. She starts crying, and as Joel comes to condole her, it leads to an intimate act. Joel finds himself in her bed the next morning. As she reaches the office, Step comes to visit him and says that he wants to join back, but as a floor manager. Joel reinstates him and announces that he is not selling the company anymore. Meanwhile, that annoying neighbor goes to visit Susie and asks for a check. Susie shouts at him to shut up and leave, and suddenly he falls to the ground and dies. In the last scene, we see Susie and Joel see each other at the funeral, where, after a small talk, Joel tells her that the girl he wanted to have a relationship with was just a criminal. And as Susie is about to leave in a separate car, Joel says they probably should go in one car, to which she agrees. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.